let's hop right into it. I'm going to go ahead and discuss about the law of specificity and how it can be incorporated in your own training and the different variations that should be done in order to help prevent plateau or stall in progress. So let's hop right into it. Law of specificity. What does it mean and how can it be utilized? Well, law of specificity basically states that if you are training a certain exercise the same way all the time, basically you will not get as much of a reward out of doing it, and you will actually have slower progress and possibly plateau if you aren't switching things up. So if you're doing the same weights, the same bar, the same bench, everything is the same all the time, basically at some point you will stall out and it will be extremely difficult for you to increase your bench press. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about ways around that and how you can incorporate it in your training, starting with bench press. All right, so 3 things come to mind whenever you're trying to build a bench press: explosive strength, max strength, and balance. Those are the 3 things that people are going to have to struggle with. Either they move the weights too slow, either they're not strong enough yet, or whenever they get it out of the bar, their stabilizers aren't quite there and they have a very bad time trying to stabilize the weight. So here's some ways around that. For explosive strength, you're going to need repetition, you're going to need acceleration. So speed bench with 1.0 meters per second. And I know that some of you might have a harder time trying to gauge that, so it has to be rather quick and explosive. And make sure that you fire off with correct form and focus on squeezing that bar so you generate even more force. Max strength. All right, well, everybody already uses a straight bar, so I'll go straight bar. And balance, bamboo bar. These are 3 things that can be worked in order to achieve a good bench press. But where you can even get even more specific is, let's say, all right. My drawing is going to be terrible, but that's okay. All right, so let's say we have this guy right here, and let's say he has a hard time from halfway through the lift all the way up. So when he comes down, he can get it off the chest, but from here to the lockout, it's a struggle. All right, so that's where you can make variants, and you can not overtrain a certain lift, and you can actually progress working off of sticking points. So what we would go ahead and tell Stickman here, board press, pin press, floor press would be good. All right, so board press, pin press, and floor press. All right, so those 3 variants right there are going to help build that drive and actually build that bench up while not essentially being bench press. It's a variant. And the whole point of law of specificity is, or training along like that law, is trying to find movements that mimic that movement and that aren't going to create the same stimulus, but therefore also work new stimulus that are actually needing. So if you can find a sticking point, if you can find something that is holding you up in your lift and you can pinpoint that, then find variants of the exercise, put those in your rotation. you will actually blast through that plateau by working things that you're not good at. It sums up how you could utilize law of specificity in your own training, how you can blast through your own plateaus and take your training to that one next step that you've been trying to get to for a long time. This has been Brickhead Strength Systems, and please follow, like, subscribe, and for any type of coaching needs or programming, just go to my website.